I'm not an organizer of the Landback camp here, but I am very much an active member of this community, of the Indigenous community here. And the leadership that came forward to start the Landback camp was frustrated about so many things. One about their treaty agreements not being acknowledged, but one of the other things was about just having space to be able to gather as Indigenous peoples and to learn and teach with one another, and do that on the land, right? And so in our traditional ways, and to live in spaces that function in more of a traditional cultural society. And so the particular leadership that decided to set up camp here, they specifically chose this spot because it was a gathering space. In this park here was an actual gathering space of numerous Indigenous groups where they would come together and meet, and so this specific space had a meaning, had a relationship to that. The other reason is also to bring light to the region about the lack of Indigenous services and that we have available to us in this community. One of the issues about being able to gather is that we're always charged money. So if we wanted to, even like when we want to have our powwow, I mean, we still have to like make a contract with the city to be able to have our powwow that we host at the university, with the university on city property. When the community wants to gather for a community feast and drumming and singing, they need to like pay rent to the pavilion. And it's just like this weird, twisted sort of thing of like, why are we paying rent to have space on land that is actually our original land, and when all the treaties are actually, the treaty agreements are understood and the land settlements are done, this is actually still Indigenous land here in this territory, as many of the other territories, the land is theirs as well. And so this spot was picked. It was also picked because there's a history, I understand, in this community of this being a really unsafe space. And I understand that there's a history of, homicides and physical violence that have occurred in this park, and in particular to Black, Indigenous, and queer people. And so it's also about making a statement and saying, you know what, we're here and we're going to occupy this space, and we know how to function and to keep ourselves safe, and so that's kind of how the camp ended up here.